everybody, and welcome to That Dog Training Show. This is Tanya Yarbrough, and this is we're up into 51 episodes. It's getting crazy. At least it's past my age now. I feel much better. This is a show where we talk about the dogs we love and the stupid human behaviors we don't, also known as shubs. So, I have an announcement. The upcoming Pack Leadership 101 seminar is May 17th. Have one every month, every third Sunday of the month for those of you who are in the Los Angeles area. So, if you want to sign up for that, you need to sign up with me at thatdogtrainingshow@gmail.com. It's $30 per person, $50 per couple. If you want to bring a group of people, just email me and I'll make sure you have a special price for that. And you may bring, a bottle of wine, some beer, some note-taking stuff, some snacks. It's just people. It's no dogs. It's hanging out, commiserating, and maybe you'll feel like you don't have the worst dog on the block. So anyway, also we have some new classes coming up at Blue Collar Working Dog where I teach group classes on May 16th and May 17th. However, they are almost all full. So if you're interested in taking basic obedience or street obedience or master distraction class, you need to get on the bandwagon because I've been hearing that I've got a lot of people calling me and asking questions and signing up right away, and I've been told by the owners that they're pretty much full. So if they are full, when you try to go sign up on their website, bluecollarworkingdog.com, go ahead and email me at thatdogtrainingshow@gmail.com or shoot me a message on the Facebook page, and I will see what the ugly number is and see if we can afford to have some more dogs in there. I just don't want it to be too big because I want to make sure everybody has plenty of personal attention. So, speaking of Blue Collar Working Dog, they've opened up their new store. They closed the previous location. The new one opened up on May 1st. It's at 1328 Lake Shore Avenue, and it's still in the same zip code, 90026, just a few blocks away. It is fantastic. It's been written up in a few online magazines. It's big, it's beautiful, it's got all kinds of stuff in there. I mean, if you like the previous store, you're going to love this one. And they have these agility stations all over the place so you can play with your dog on leash and, try out new stuff. So I would, just go there to check it out because it's as I said, I don't know if they like this, but like I said, it's kind of like, because I like IKEA, so I said it's like the IKEA of dog stores, but I don't know if they like that comparison. But anyway, there's all kinds of natural lighting and it's cool and, there's parking. Hey, you don't have to find stuff on the street. It's great. So go check it out just for fun. So anyway, today's episode is called Attention Please because it was inspired by Monica, who is a listener in Poland. That's right, folks. Poland, the other country, across the ocean, not any city in the United States. So apparently I have a small core group of listeners who are all over this world. I knew I had Canadian listeners, but now I know I have some listeners in Poland. So Monica, this is all because of you. She sent me a message on the show's Facebook page, That Dog Training Show with Tanya Yarbrough, inquiring about how to get her dog's attention or focus when she was walking him on leash in the presence of other dogs, or I assumed on leash. That was my assumption. So here's what Monica from Poland wrote. Tanya, could you help me? I've got a dog de Bordeaux, 7-month-old puppy. I have been training him from the first day he joined our home, and I can see a lot of improvement. I am stuck on his attention, though. How should I be training him to be more concentrated on me than other dogs? He's very friendly and gentle, and he wants to play with every possible dog he notices. Thank you, Monica. So, those of you who do not know what a dog de Bordeaux is, there's a picture of her actual dog and some that I found. It's called a French Mastiff in English. So, it is a huge dog, sort of a kind of a tawny-colored coat, and it's got a very gentle demeanor for the most part, if you raise them right. But, yes, this is a dog that you do not want just kind of jumping up on people or other dogs and just making his presence known. You definitely want to make sure he's nice and in control. So I wrote my answer to Monica, and I got permission to share the answer with you all. I also realized that after I sent her the message, I missed an important point that I should have written, or a couple points actually. So Monica, all the way in Poland, which, by the way, I'm part Polish, so, a little closer to my heart there. I know you'll be listening, so here's a more complete answer than what I gave you over the Facebook message. I wrote, there are two major categories in which you need to approach this problem of distraction. One, leadership in general, and two, what is learned in terms of rules of the leash. Or I should say, what is learned completely. So I wrote the first category of approach requires that you not allow him to lean on you, roll up onto you, or what you're sitting on, or stepping on your feet. Maintain your personal space at all times, which you may already be doing since your dog tends to drool a lot, I'm sure. So, if you have a drooly dog, you already kind of make sure that those jowls are not hanging over your shoes or your dress. So, I realized that after sending my long answer to Monica, there were two other things I didn't specify that goes under that whole leadership concept, that whole leadership category of approaching her dog's lack of focus. So here's the new stuff that I didn't give you, Monica, that I should have. One is that you must not only protect your personal space with your dog so that he never gets to touch you without earning it and getting an invitation to do so, you must also protect the pack's personal space when you are walking your dog. No one or no thing can enter that bubble of space around you and your dog without you addressing it first, stopping in its tracks before allowing contact. That includes litter, that includes people who think your dog's gorgeous, because of course they do, that includes other dogs, etc. Always protect that space. So another pack leadership tip is making sure that your position relative to your dog's position gives you the leadership status. That's super, super important. For instance, your dog's nose should not be ahead of your forward kneecap when you're walking or running or what have you, thus being sure that they never cross into the leadership position as you're walking. It's not just about not just a matter of not pulling. I've had lots of clients who have brought that up with, oh, well, they don't pull, but then they've got a 10-foot leash and the dog is way out in front of them scouting, and they think it's okay just because the leash isn't tight. And that's not the freaking point. The point is the dog is in the leadership position, scanning for trouble, and also initiating the investigation environment. So that's your job, not theirs. So once they're in that leadership position, there's no reason for them to listen to anything you ask them to do. You're not the boss. So if the leash is loose enough, right, your dog can be many feet ahead of you without pulling. The line of scrimmage is what we're talking about. The line of scrimmage for walking as a pack should be at your pace of walking, your gait, and that is defined at the greatest forward extent by your toes and kneecaps. I use the kneecap as a measurement because our timing is a bit slower than a dog's, and it gives us a couple of inches of leeway, that is the length of your toes, right, to determine our dog is moving into a leadership position or not. So, and if they're moving into that position, you should pivot in the opposite direction, away from the side where your dog is walking, away from your leash hand. And that's how you solve the problem. Never pull back on the leash when your dog is getting ahead. That only creates a little battle, increases drive and aggression, and you're not going to actually train the dog to stop doing it. So by keeping your dog in the follower position as opposed to the leadership position, it allows your dog a better chance of being able to comply with your commands. Honestly, once they've changed themselves and put themselves in a leadership position, their hormone levels change. So you are actually setting them up for complete failure by doing so, because they're not able physiologically to listen to you very well. So in this case, when Monica brought up her question, she's concerned about getting his attention. He's not going to offer you attention unless he's in the follower position. So that has to be made clear. So once you've made it clear by your relative position to your dog that you are the boss and all good things come from you, your ability to get your dog to follow your commands and give you attention and focus is exponentially better than just trying to force the situation. And another position to be concerned about is making sure that as you approach distractions, you move your dog to a position where your body is always between your dog and the distraction. This is a specific way an alpha dog would communicate to the followers that the alpha, in this case the leash holder, that is you, is responsible for any confrontation or interactions with other packs. This will help calm your dog down considerably, mostly because you're taking the job away from him and making it clear to him that you're handling it, and lend them to pay more attention to you. The way in which I move my dog on leash while walking is I announce to the dog which side I am moving him to, and then use a behind-the-back pass to the other side. So, of course, this requires that you have to have the entire leash in one hand at all times, which I find also to be more effective in exuding confident control and helping your dog have confidence in you. So, an example would be, if I am walking my dog on my right side and I see a distraction in front of us or behind us on the right side, I will say to my dog, left side, and then move him to the other side from behind the back as I would say the word heel. Not stopping, not slowing down, continuing to move. Don't stop and do this, or the dog's just going to crash into your butt. So you want to make sure that you're still moving nice and smooth forward, and then you say left side, and on the word heel, you pull your dog over and switch hands with the leash. Vice versa, if I'm walking my dog on the left side, and there's a left side distraction, I will announce right side, and then move my dog from behind the back while saying the word heel. This way I am always in front, and the dog learns what to expect when I say left side or right side. Eventually they will move themselves without any leash pressure once they hear those commands, which is super important. If you ever want your dog to actually follow you, you want to make sure that you set it up that they want to be codependent on your words and your body, not the leash. If you're always having tension with the leash with your dog, and that's how you control your dog, as opposed to I announce something, I do it. I announce something, I do it. And eventually they just comply when you announce something. So the constant tension and pulling back on a dog, etc., just lends to the dog fighting you, and you always will have to have a leash and be in control physically of your dog, which is not our goal. So anyway, when they eventually start moving themselves to the other side without any leash pressure, this also lends to this concept. Immediately, this whole switching sides forces the dog to pay a little more attention to your presence as well. So it's a great way to keep the dog's focus, as well as let them know, I got this situation. I got the skateboard, I got the dog coming, I got the person who's squealing on the high pitch like they've never seen a dog before in their life, because your dog is that awesome looking, etc., etc. So those are the things I didn't specify with Monica's answer, but now that we've got that covered, this covers the first category of approach, which is the pack leadership stuff. I will now go on with what I wrote to Monica for the second category of approach. And this is what I wrote. The second category, in terms of approach, is the learned quote-unquote rules of the leash and learned methods of focus. So I started with Monica on the learned method of focus. I wrote, I assume you have already started teaching him to focus on your eyes on command. Super important that you guys start learning to do that with your dogs, puppy or not. Start teaching them to trust your eye contact is positive. You start elongating the time with which he is to focus while still up close to his face. When I tell people how to do this, it's the most awkward thing for people because I make them go right in their face, nose to the dog, and reward them as if you're throwing up into their mouth. That's how close you have to be to start nailing this down for your dog. So in this case, you want to start, once the dog learns to look at you until you let go of the food inside their mouth, you start elongating the time which they have to look at you without getting out of their face. You still have to be nose to nose with them. So now you're asking them to hold it for 1 second, now 2 seconds, now 3 seconds. And just you raise that time as your dog is able to. So you do that close to his face, and you want to make sure you're doing this in a less distracting environment like the home, when it's quiet and there's not a lot of foot traffic going on. So as you gain a duration of about 10 to 15 seconds, then you start playing with increasing distance from his face. If you do not train the focus in this order, you will see massive deterioration in the behavior once it becomes distracting, or you're in a distracting environment, as I meant. Of course, as you are building the focus to a good 30 seconds of duration about 2 to 5 feet away from the house, you will also be building the focus behavior outside with no distance, right in his face, and with very short durations as if he doesn't know the behavior outside at all, like he's never learned it, even though he does know it inside. Build the duration and distance outside only as he is able to do so, which will always be less impressive than the progress in the house, but it will be worth your patience.